Hi everyone, I welcome you all at Apti Plus IAS platform. In these particular videos, we are going to analyze Hindu and Indian Express editorial articles. In these particular videos, we'll not just only discuss issue that is given in editorial, but rather we are going to discuss these particular aspects, these particular articles from background. We'll discuss the main concept as well as way forward. And also you'll find that the notes have also been arranged in the format of context, body and way forward. So now let's get started with the video. Okay, so guys, the first article that we are going to take up is analysis of Prime Minister's Independence Day speech. Now in this particular article, we are not just going to see the takeaways from the Prime Minister's speech, but rather also we are going to analyze the challenges that India is facing and basically what are the structural reforms that are needed in order to achieve what Prime Minister has mentioned. So let's get started. And in fact, there were multiple articles on this particular line that came in Times of India, in Hindu newspaper, okay, as well as in Business Standard, etc., as well as in the Business Line, etc. There were the articles that were there. So let's get started. Now, first thing that Prime Minister has mentioned, is about uh, it is the 2047 goal to make India a Viksit Bharat. So by 2047, we want to become a developed nation. Now, if we talk about the situation as of now, right now, India is the fifth largest economy. Our GDP stands at $3.7 trillion. Immediate plan is to ensure that we become a third largest economy. And it is estimated that India's GDP would grow at 6.7%. And by 2031, India will become third largest economy. Now, in short term, we want to become a $5 trillion economy. We want to break the middle income trap. And by 2047, we want to become a developed nation. These are some good ambitions and these are some good things. These are some of the good targets that were taken up. But structural reforms that are needed, concrete steps that would be taken so that this is achieved, that has not been provided in the Independence Day speech. Now, guys, when we talk about the middle income trap, understand this particular thing. That when we talk about the per capita income, it has been seen that many countries they have registered rapid economic growth, but they are not able to break $12,000 per annum per capita income. Now, many countries they are not able to break this particular trap. Means their per capita income it is not going above $12,000. Okay, many countries have got trapped here, and this is called as middle income trap. In order to become a high income country, a high income group country, we need to increase our per capita income beyond this. But how we are going to achieve that? Such concrete steps have not been mentioned. So this is something that should have been focused upon. One. Then moving on, next, Prime Minister has emphasized on people's participation in governance. Prime Minister has emphasized on people's participation in governance. Now let's discuss this particular dimension little bit more academically. So you see this particular thing that please note down this in your notebook. So there are three types of societies. Number one, there is traditional society. There is traditional society. Then there is a transitional society. Then there is a transitional society. And then there is modern society. Modern society. Now, when we talk about traditional society, in traditional society, parochial culture prevails. Here parochial culture prevails. What is parochial culture? In parochial culture, there is very dim or no political awareness. There is very dim or no political awareness. People don't have awareness about their rights, about their entitlements. That is the parochial society. Then from parochial society, transitional society, what happens? There is little political awareness or moderate political awareness. Here, there is a subject culture that prevails. And from here, So there is a subject. There is a subject culture. In subject culture, there is a little political awareness. People have some awareness about the rights, entitlements that they enjoy. And from subject culture, we move to a modern society. And in modern society, there is a participant culture that is there. There is a participant culture that is there. In participant culture, what happens? There is a complete political awareness. There is a complete political awareness. In participant democracy or in participant society, what happens? Citizens will participate in deliberation and discussions. They will participate in deliberation and discussions. So when we talk about India, India has moved from parochial to transitional society, and from traditional to transitional society, and from transitional we need to become a modern society. And therefore, citizens' participation in discussion, citizens' participation in political dialogue, political deliberation, political discourse is very much important. So therefore, now the steps have to be taken so that we move from transitional to modern, and there citizens' participation will become very important. Citizens' participation will become very important. Moreover, what has happened? Prime Minister has also accepted the complexities of a coalition government. So 2024 elections we have seen, it was not in favor of the NDA. So therefore, they have to choose coalition partners. Okay. Then moving on, core issues that were discussed in this Prime Minister's speech, in this year's Prime Minister's speech, was UCC, Uniform Civil Code, One Nation, One Election, and Article 370, along with the mention of the Ram Mandir, that is Ram Temple. Now let's discuss about it. So Prime Minister has reignited the debate on UCC, Uniform Civil Code. It was provided that Uniform Civil Code is a constitutional requirement. Let's discuss little bit on this particular front. So basically, guys, when we talk about the laws, there can be criminal laws, there can be criminal codes, criminal laws. For example, Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, earlier Indian Penal Code, Criminal Procedure Code, these are the criminal laws. Then there can be civil laws. Okay, now within civil laws, there are personal civil laws. These personal civil laws deal with four types of matter. What four types of matter they deal with? They deal with matter related to marriage, adoption, divorce, and inheritance. These are the four matters that are dealt by the personal civil laws. Right now, religious communities in India, they are allowed that on these four matters, they can have their own personal civil laws, which might be coming from their religions. For example, when we talk about the marriage, there is Islamic code on marriage, which provides that women can marry at the age of puberty. Now, a woman attains puberty in the age of 13, 14 years. So, when a woman is 13, 14-year old, she can marry. Okay, okay, fine. However, if we read Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006, Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006 provides that women can marry only after 18 years of age. So, Islamic law provides they can marry at puberty, which is 13, 14. But PCMA, Prohibition of Child Marriage Act, provides they can marry only after 18. So, there is a conflict that is coming. Okay, sometimes it is said that because there are the personal civil laws, they are coming out of religion, and often religion, it imposes certain restrictions. It often discriminates against women. Now that you will find many number of times non-existence of UCC, it is also called as it is a gender reform. Let me explain you this with the help of an example. You see this thing, there was instant triple talaq that was there. Now we found that when the instant triple talaq was there, most of the time women suffered because of it. Muslim Women Act of 2019 removed the instant triple talaq. Now, still, there are many such kind of social norms that are there associated with marriage, adoption, divorce, inheritance, which becomes the reason for social injustice. So therefore, it is said that rather than allowing all the religious communities have their own personal codes dealing with these four matters, we need to bring a uniform civil code, one comprehensive document which will deal with these particular matters, and it will be applicable on all the communities in similar capacity. Now, we have Article 44 in the Indian Constitution, Article 44 in the Indian Constitution, which talks about the application of Uniform Civil Code. At the time of Constituent Assembly debates, the House was divided. One of a member Naziruddin Ahmed, said that if you will implement UCC, it might go against the right to religion, Article 25. But one another member, that is member KM Munshi, said this thing that no, right to religion is not supreme. It is subject to reasonable restrictions. So therefore, UCC can be implemented, not a problem. So two extreme viewpoints we have. So therefore, what happened at that point of a time as a compromise, it was said that let's not bring UCC, let's not drop UCC altogether. It was said that UCC should be added in Directive Principle of State Policy DPSP, and in Article 44 UCC was added, and now these debates are coming that UCC is to be implemented. In fact, when we talk about the law commission, so recently 22nd law commission, it suggested that let's have a nationwide debate that whether we should bring UCC or not. And now Prime Minister has also said that let's bring a UCC, but he said this thing that UCC should not have a communal flair, that homogenization of all the religion in towards one culture should not be there. He says that as a constitutional spirit, we should implement UCC. This is something that has been mentioned here. Then after that, one nation, one election. One nation, one election. Now, guys, you see this particular thing, one nation, one election is a idea that provides that election of parliament as well as state legislative assemblies should be held together, and if possible, then even the elections of the local bodies should be held together. But at least parliament and state legislative assembly should have simultaneous elections. As of now, guys, every year one or the other state are going for elections, and because of that, what happened, the national leader, sometimes even the prime minister, all the time they are in the election mode, and many number of times, because there is election in some state, some populistic policies have to be announced which are not good on the developmental front. So we have certain challenges here. One nation, one election provides that in 5 year election should be there, and actually, in fact, it happened when election of 1951, 52, and then after that when the election were carried. But what actually happened around 1967 elections that happened, after that this particular cycle got broken down, and now it is being suggested that one nation, one election should be implemented again. Then Ram temple has already been constructed and got recently it got inaugurated also. So this is the achievement of the government, and Article 370, it has been said that it is a fulfilled promise. UCC is unresolved and it should be implemented as soon as possible. Next, the Prime Minister talked about youth inclusion. Prime Minister pledged that 1 lakh young people, fine, they will be, without any political affiliation, without any political inclination, they will be, fine, 1 lakh people will be involved, and they will be asked that how innovation and fresh perspectives, out of the box thinking can be brought in governance. Okay, so to take the viewpoint of the young people, government will invite them. Then after that, already we discussed about the middle income trap that India needs to avoid. One important lesson, one important thing that we need to keep in mind as how we can avoid the middle income trap, it is that India needs to become an innovative economy. You see this particular thing, India immaturely moved from manufacturing sector to directly service sector. We have missed the manufacturing sector revolution, manufacturing sector boom. Now, in order to become a high value output economy, India had to innovate more. Right now, our GDERD, that is the gross domestic expenditure in research and development, it is just 0.7%. So 0.7% equivalent of GDP we are spending in R&D. According to Niti Aayog, it is to be raised to at least 2 to 2.5%. So right now, just 0.7% of GDP we are spending in R&D. It needs to be raised to 2.5%, and 3% ambitious. Fine, that is there. Fine. Okay, education is 3%. Education should be 6%. R&D is 0.7%. It should be taken to 2.5% approximately. Then further moving on. After that, there are the judicial challenges, administrative challenges that we have. You see this particular thing. you see this particular thing that right now there is a lot of judicial pendency that we have. Approximately 61 lakh cases are pending in high courts and 4.4 crore cases are pending in the lower courts. Cumulatively, more than 5 crore cases are pending. So justice delayed is justice denied, and often because the judicial pendency is there, it affects the ease of doing business also, because even when there is so much of judicial pendency, commercial disputes, civil disputes also, they also take a lot of time to get resolved. Then recently India's ranking was 126 out of 143 countries in the World Happiness Index. Now this is a challenge that should be dealt, okay, was not addressed that much. So World Happiness Index report, India's rank is 126 out of 143 countries. What it shows? It shows that the social challenges are there, social harmony is not there, social justice is not there. And we find that yes, that is there. Crimes against women, fine, religious hatredness is there, corruption is persisting. Okay, religious political freedoms is a big challenge. So these are some of the challenges that are to be addressed, but they didn't found much of a mention. So what is the policy recommendation? Number one is increase R&D expenditure. So R&D expenditure needs to be taken to 2.5%. Education, where 3% of GDP is being spent, we need to take it to 6%. Comprehensive poverty measurement needs to be there. So basically, guys, first of all, you see that when we talk about the poverty, recently what happened, Niti Aayog released the National Multidimensional Poverty Index. And as per that National Multidimensional Poverty Index, they say that poverty has got effectively reduced, okay, in the past 15 years. But we need to focus on, you see this particular thing, that when we talk about the poverty, there are a lot of challenges that have been raised on that particular front. For example, it was said that data which you took was from National Family Health Survey 5. It has been said that we need to focus on comprehensive poverty measurement. Fine, realistic income based yardstick should be used, realistic poverty lines should be there, and on that particular basis poverty measurement should be there. Then judicial reforms are needed for ensuring that the backlog which is there, it is to be brought down. And when we talk about judicial reforms, in judicial reforms, what could be done? If you remember, in the last session we also discussed about the judicial reforms. Number one, technology can be used for case listing and all such kind of a thing. Number two, judicial infrastructure can be enhanced, because there is deficiency of courtrooms, court complexes, basic infrastructure is not there in the court. So therefore many women are also not willing to join the judicial profession. So number one, use technology. Number two, ensure that basic judicial infrastructure is there. Number three, promote the alternative dispute resolution systems. For example, lok adalat, family courts, dedicated tribunals, such kind of things need to be brought. Okay, then moving on, strengthen decentralized governance and foster social cohesion. We need a knit India movement. So on the lines of the quit India movement, what we need today, we today need a knit India movement, so a social cohesion and a social harmony uh, can be brought. Moving on next. Now here we have an article on Olympics. So guys, recently we have seen this, that the Olympics got concluded. Okay, uh, now it was a mixed bag, and we saw that Vinesh Fogart was not able to win the medal because of the disqualification that she faced because of just being 100-gram overweight. But there are some other golden moments also for the India in the Olympics. But you see, always whenever the Olympics is concerned, there is this particular debate that gets started before the Olympics or after the Olympics, that India is not winning that much medal in Olympics. So India's success in Olympics is often measured with the number of medals that it is winning. Now this particular article says that actually Olympics is not just about the medals. Olympics is more than that. So first of all, it has been said that when Olympics is concerned, Olympics can be used as a source of increasing the soft power of a nation. Now you see, power can be of three types: economic power, hard power, soft power. Economic power is, now first of all, what is power? Power is your ability to influence another person's behavior. That is power. So if I can influence another person's behavior, that is my power. So that power can be economic. I can give money. That power can be hard power. I have a gun, and by that I can influence another person's behavior. Then that power can be soft power. Now soft power is your power that you enjoy through the distinct aura that you possess. distinct traditions that you possess. Now, a country's prowess in sports, it is a source of soft power, and it has therefore helped in the it has fulfilled the strategic goals. Now you see this particular thing, that during Cold War, US and Soviet Union, they tried to dominate. Now domination was not only military and economy, also in sports they tried to dominate. So countries which have good track record in sports, they're winning a lot of medals, it enhances their sports, the soft power. Then national health and human capital. Now basically, if a culture of sports is there, so culture of sports, leave the medal apart, but culture of sports, it improves physical and mental health among the youth. Okay, so this is one very important. We talk about demographic dividend, that is advantage because of young demography. Often young demography, it is prone to many social challenges, many health challenges. There are the drug addiction is there, obesity is there, poor lifestyle is there. All that can be avoided if our youth is engaged in sports. So sports have a positive physical, positive impact on physical and mental health also. Then by this positive impact on healthcare, future expenditure on healthcare can be reduced. Then moving on, youth development. So the youth that are participating in sport. Okay, so the basically youth development, basically grassroots sports are important for building the sense of discipline, building a sense of national integration, which is very important for the nation. Then it builds character. So sports teaches a lot of things. Sports teaches resilience. Sports teaches team spirit. Fine. Moreover, when we are playing sports, so we have seen the recent episode where Neeraj Chopra was competing, where we have seen that sportsmanship that was shown by Neeraj Chopra. Okay, so we see that why these particular values reflect in the sportsmen. It is because of their values that they learn in the sports. Okay, so this is the way that the sports has far more deeper impact than just the medals, and we need to focus on that. And a cultural shift is also needed. From medal mindset, we need to see the sports, that values that it is inculcating in youth. Moving on. The green trifecta, key to sustainable future, GS paper number 3, environment as well as economy. You can see this particular article. So basically green trifecta. Now trifecta means a combination of three things. Okay, so trifecta or trilogy. Okay, so basically the article is talking about three developments that has happened on environmental front. Three developments that have happened on environmental front. Let's see that. Okay, so basically there is focus on renewable energy, electric vehicles and green technologies. There is focus on renewable energy, electric vehicles and green technology, and this particular focus has enhanced considerably post 2015 Paris Agreement. So if you remember, post Paris Agreement 2015, what it talks upon, it says that we should ensure that global temperature should not go above 2 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial level, and if possible then it should not go beyond 1.5 degrees Celsius. Now if you need to limit the global temperature rise, what is needed? We need to focus on three things, and that is renewable energy, we need to reduce the carbon footprint, and for that renewable energies are to be focused upon. Electric vehicles are needed to be focused upon so that the vehicle emission can come down, and we need to focus on green technology. Now as we are focusing on this, it has a lot of potential to create jobs. It has a lot of potential to contribute positively in the economy of a nation. Now renewable energy, particularly if we talk about, it is not renewable energy, if we talk about, it is not only environmentally sustainable, but it can also save in economic cost also. So global economy can save $4.2 trillion annually. $4.2 trillion annually. Moreover, solar power that we talk about, it has dropped by 80%, and today the solar power tariff, they are competing with the coal. They are competing with coal. Okay, moreover, even in electric vehicle, EV battery cost, it has fallen by 90% compared to 2010. So battery cost is coming down, solar power cost is coming down, and cumulatively renewable energies can save a lot of cost in mobility. Fine. So countries in net, they are going to take a net positive benefit of this development. Then even if we see, household investment in green products is also increasing. Now households are becoming positive of investing in the green technologies. For example, if we talk about US, you see in USA, find 6.6 gigawatt of solar installation, residential solar installations were carried in 2022. Okay, now people are they are adopting more and more solar panels. In India also, PM Kusum is there. There are many other, there are the rooftop solar schemes that we have. So what is happening? Uptake is increasing. Now when we talk about the solar technologies, green technologies, so green technologies has one issue, that is upfront costs are very high. But at the end, long-term savings that they lead to, it is positive. Okay, so initial capital expenditure is there. For example, if you want to deploy solar panels at the roof of your home, you need to spend 3-4 lakh rupees depending on the size of it. However, in long term, you will be able to save on the cost. Same goes for the EV car. Upfront cost of EV car, upfront cost that you have to shell out is more. EV cars happen to be more expensive than the conventional IC engine based cars. But over a period of time, low maintenance cost, low per mile running cost. By that, we are able to save. Now, countries are also understanding it. Countries are also understanding it, and people are investing in this. Okay, now challenges in green investment. Again, when green investment is there, so basically there are the longer periods of ROI. So the period when you'll get the return on your investment, this is long. It discourages a lot of investor. So therefore, what is to be done? What is to be done? Government needs to provide a support to investors in this particular field. Okay, fine. So, global investment in clean energy reached $500 billion in 2022. But investors are still cautious because the profitability is a big concern. Okay, this is something that is there that's to be addressed. Then moving on to the next article, India's ballast water management challenge. Now, what is this ballast water? Okay, you see this thing, that suppose this is a ship, cargo ship, this is a cargo ship, and let's say these are the cargo containers that are kept on the ship. So basically here in the hull of the ship, it stores the water. It stores water. Now this water is important. This water that is stored in the ship, it is important. It gives stability to the ship. It gives stability. It gives a balance to the ship. Is it clear or not? So when there will be the rough weather, okay, there will be the intense shock waves that will come. So this particular ballast water will give stability and balance to ship. So this water, it is called as the ballast water. It is called as ballast water. Now there are some environmental concerns that comes with respect to ballast water. Let's understand that. Recently, there is one development that I just want to mention here. So recently what happened, there was a case. So recently there was a case in Tamil Nadu. So what happened? Water Resources Department, they are demanding 160 crore rupees from Kamarajar Port. Now Kamarajar Port, it is near Chennai. Why? For ineffective ballast water management. So the ship, they have released their ballast water there. And because of that, there are some environmental challenges that have emerged. Let's understand this thing. Now suppose a ship docked, let's say a ship has come from Brazil to India. Let's say a ship has come from Brazil to India. So in Brazil, what might have happened? It might have filled its ballast with the water. Uh, it might have taken the intake of ballast water in Brazil. Now it has come in Chennai. So during the unloading, it might release that ballast water. What will happen? Water which was taken up in Brazil, it might have also, when that particular water was taken up, it might have also included some of the microorganisms, some of the fishes which are native of that particular region. But now that water is being released, those fishes are also being released here. Okay, some other flora fauna are also being released here. Now they will become invasive. There will become invasive here. And as they will become invasive here, it might lead to environmental challenges. Also, what might happen? What might be the problem? There might be some toxins, fine, which have got inducted in this ballast water, and as this ballast water is being discharged here, those particular toxins will also travel here. So basically this release of ballast water in it leads to a lot of challenges and a lot of problems. Okay, now what are the challenges? Number one, introduction of invasive species. Okay, second, oceanic pollution, because ballast water, it may contain a lot of pollution such as oil, heavy metal, many chemicals. Okay, now these high pollutants, what they can do, they can promote the oceanic pollution, harmful algal blooms, then spread of diseases, many pathogens, they can also travel through the ballast water. Then economic impact. So as basically these algal blooms will proliferate, invasive species will come, it might lead to environmental challenge, and to solve it, again, economic resource have to be shell out. So therefore we have some global standards for these ballast water management. Now what are these global challenges that we have? So International Maritime Organization, IMO, it has come out with ballast water management convention. Ballast water management convention. Now this particular convention, it aims to ensure that through the ballast water, invasive species are not carried in the other parts of the country. Pollution should not be transmitted through this ballast water. Now, new ships are required to have ballast water management system. Ballast water management system. They need to process that particular water before they release it. Now, when we talk about India, India has not signed this ballast water management convention. Means it is not compulsory in India to ensure that the ships are following these particular protocols. It's not compulsory for India in India for the ships to follow this particular protocol. Now, there are many challenges that have there, many challenges that have there. Though many ships, they have this ballast water management system fitted, but many number of times they are malfunctioning because of inadequate maintenance. Okay. Also, monitoring it very much burdensome. Fine, that every ship is following it. Fine, legal accountability. Okay. Now, you see this particular thing that the responsibility should fall on ship owners. But because we have not adopted robust rules, it is falling on the ports. So, what is the way forward? Number one, we need to sign the ballast water management convention immediately. We need to not only sign, we need to ensure safeguards that should be there in the place to focus that this is being followed. Violation need not to be there. Comprehensive training programs. So shipping companies should train crew members as how the ballast water management is to be effectively be carried. Standardization of regulations across the countries, and then collaboration should be there with the stakeholders, shipping companies, port authorities, local authorities should come together. Industry experts, government should come together to ensure effective implementation. So this is all in this particular direction. Now moving on to next article. Analysis of India's bank deposit challenge. Okay. Now, multiple articles, bank deposit shortage, financing challenge. So recently, what has happened? So bank deposits, they are coming down. Now you see, when we talk about the model of a bank, how a bank operates. So basically, bank accepts deposits, and when the bank is accepting deposits, it is giving some interest to the people who have deposited the money in bank. Then that particular money is given as a loan. So bank majorly makes money by lending or by giving loans. Now in order to give more loan, bank first of all need to have more deposits. So deposit is a raw material of bank. Now deposits are going down. So basically, when we talk about the core deposits, so current and saving accounts, CASA, current and saving account, it has reached to 41% of total deposit. 41% of total deposit. Fine. Last year it was 43%. Okay. So current account, saving account. Along with the current account, saving account, there is also the fixed deposits that are there. Now, total deposits, as we talk about it, total deposit, CASA that we talk about it is current account, saving account, it has come to 41% of total deposit. Last year it was 43%. Now, current and saving account deposits are important. Why? Because on this, bank pays very less interest rate. On current account, virtually bank is not paying interest rate. But in saving account, bank pays low interest rate. Fixed deposit, bank pay high interest rate. So bank wants that the current account and saving account deposits need to be high. Now, Also, banks are facing one more challenge. In general, interest rates are going up. By that also, banks' profitability is declining. Now, why this is happening? So there is a shift in saving behavior. Now, rather than people putting their money in saving account, they are exploring other options. For example, they are putting money in the gold bond, they are putting money in stock market, they are putting money in cryptocurrencies, or they are buying land, etc. Inflation has been very much a big concern in the past few years. So therefore, to make the money inflation proof, people are not putting it in the saving account. Okay. Now, this has a broader economic impact. This has a broader economic impact. Now, you see this thing. There are non-banking financial companies, NBFCs. There are microfinance institutions which provide small loans to the MSMEs or to other players. Now, where these NBFCs are bringing money? They are getting money from bank. Now, if banks don't have deposits, they cannot lend money to NBFCs, and NBFCs cannot give institutional credit to a lot of people who want to borrow. So this has a big problem. Then next issue that comes here is that, fine, a decline in deposit also might restrict last mile lending. Last mile lending. Fine. Now, what can be suggestions in this particular line? What can be suggestions in this particular line? Tax incentives. Now you see, basically, money that you have put in FD, fixed deposit, and on that fixed deposit, what interest that you will get, that interest is taxable. So immediately government should ensure that interest that is being earned through FDs, that particular money should not be taxed. So that is one reform. Now, one very radical kind of a reform that has been given, and this reform is that basically all deposits should be centralized with Reserve Bank of India. Bank should not bother about deposit. All deposits should be centralized with Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India should provide money to banks, and banks should focus just on lending purpose. Then next is, we need to come out with innovative banking products. Okay, so that people who are diversifying their money in stock market, etc., they might go to banks and might deposit their money in the banks. So this is something that can be explored. Then financial inclusion and literacy, so that more people come in the formal banking system. So these are the things that are to be focused upon here. Next, SEBI report and Hindenburg issue. SEBI report and Hindenburg issue. Now this article we'll see with respect to the GS paper number 3. First of all, before going in this article, I just want to give a broad disclaimer. Please don't waste too much of time in this particular issue. We need not to do a PhD kind of a thing on this, because UPSC usually doesn't ask the questions on such kind of scams, scandals, or such kind of a conspiracies that are there. You just need to have a broad overview idea. First of all, Hindenburg. So basically, Hindenburg is a short seller. Hindenburg is a short seller. Now, what is the short selling? First of all, let's understand this thing. So basically, basic understanding is that how people earn money in share market, in stock market. So suppose there is a stock of, suppose let's take one example. So there is any XYZ company. Its stock is right now trading at 100 rupees. Now, general understanding is that I will buy this share at 100 rupees. Now, when this share will go at 110, I will sell it and I will make 10 rupees profit. This is one conventional understanding. But short selling is different. What is short selling? Short selling is like this, that the share of XYZ company is at 100 rupees. I expect that this particular share will go down. I expect that this particular share will go to 80 rupees. Okay. I expect this, that the share will go down 80 rupees. Might be I have some report, or might be there are the bad fiscal quarter that it has uh, delivered, anything. I think the price will go at 80 rupees. Now, what I can do? What I can do? I will go to, I will go to my broker. I will go to my broker and I will tell him that please lend me shares of this XYZ company. Lend me the shares of, I'm not buying, I am asking him, I am borrowing the shares from him. Let's say he lended me 100 shares. What I did? Immediately I sold these 100 shares in the market. Immediately I sold these 100 shares in the market. Okay. And suppose my prediction went true and actually price came to 80. Price came to 80. Now what I'll do? I will buy shares from market. I will buy shares from market. Okay. And I will give these particular shares to my broker. I will give back these shares to my broker. You see, I have borrowed shares from the broker, 100 shares, and 100 shares are to be returned. 100 shares are to be returned. Okay. So I returned 100. Now what has happened? I have made 20 rupees in between. How I have made a 20 rupees profit? Because you see, I sold the shares immediately when the price was 100. I bought shares when the price was 80 and I am now giving back. So 100 shares at 100 rupees. 10,000 rupees I got when I sold them, and 8,000 rupees I have to spend because when I'm buying them. In between, 2,000 rupees profit I have made. So this is short selling. This is short selling. Now Hindenburg is a short seller. What they do? They now you see what they do. They will investigate a company. They'll find the flaws that is there in a company. Then they'll release that report. After that report, people will sell the stocks. As they'll sell the stock, price will go down, and as price will go down, short seller will always benefit. Now this particular question often comes, that is it ethical, fine, is it right, etc. So you need to understand this particular thing, that basically they play an important role. What is an important role? So you see, what they are doing, they're exposing if company is doing something wrong. They're exposing if companies are doing something wrong. If company is not doing anything wrong, if company is properly maintaining their accounts, if they are following all the corporate governance norms, what they can expose? They cannot expose anything. So they act as a positive check. Okay, stock companies, they need to ensure that they are following all the corporate practices. Otherwise, they can be exposed by such short sellers. So therefore, in this particular capacity, they have a positive role to play. Now, what happened? What happened? So, more than 1 year back, Hindenburg report was released. So, more than 1 year back, Hindenburg report was released in January 2023, and they said that Adani Group, they have carried stock manipulation. Okay, they have carried accounting fraud, and they have used offshore entities to inflate the stock prices. So basically, there are the offshore entities which are investing in the Adani shares. They are buying, they are investing, they are buying, they are investing in the Adani shares. And Adani shares, the price that has went up, it is artificially manipulated. All these allegations they made, and they also presented the proofs to prove that. Okay, now what happened? Hindenburg has released a new report. Again, they have made a new revelation. In this particular revelation, they have said this particular thing, that number one, SEBI has not taken much action on Adani Group, though we have given a lot of proofs. And secondly, they have said that the SEBI's chairperson, SEBI's chairperson had got benefit out of this particular transaction. They said that the offshore fund that is linked with the Adani Group, in that SEBI chairperson and her husband has invested money. They have investments. So there is a conflict of interest. Deliberately, they have not taken action here because their money might have got impacted. So this is something that has happened. Now, here one reference is coming. So there is one of the SEBI's former chief, M. Damodaran. So he held some stocks in a bank. He divested those particular stocks before joining his office. Why? Because he said that it might lead to conflict of interest. So this example is being given. It is being said that why the chairperson of SEBI right now did that. Why she did not disclose this particular kind of a thing. So this is one dimension that has come. Now SEBI, what they have done, they have said that we have a sufficient internal mechanism to handle these particular concerns, but actually it the Hindenburg report says that much has not been done by SEBI till now. Now it opens up ethical implication. Now when we talk about SEBI plays an important role. It needs to follow the highest ethical and moral standards. In this capacity, it is imperative that the chief should have resigned or should have disclosed all the information, but clearly that has not happened. That has not happened. Now it might have a negative impact on market. Okay. Now opposition, what has happened? They have demanded for a joint parliamentary committee. JPC, that the JPC should investigate on the Hindenburg's charges, and it should investigate that whether the SEBI chief had got some benefit out of that, was there conflict of interest. All these matters should be invested by a joint parliamentary committee. Now, what is this JPC for prelims examination? So joint parliamentary committee, it is a ad hoc committee, means it is not a regular committee. It is constituted when the need arises. So it is a committee which constitutes member of both Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. Okay. Now, this particular JPC, it is established via motion that can be passed by both the houses. Okay. And JPC goes in the detail of the matter that is referred. Okay. And they submit an action taken report to Parliament. Now, this JPC's report, it is recommendatory in nature. It is on Parliament whether they want to accept it or not. Okay. Now, earlier JPCs, joint parliamentary committees, have been constituted. Okay. So 2G spectrum scam, it cleared Prime Minister. Fine. Ketan Parekh share market scam, JP investigated the stock market manipulation and gave certain recommendations. Fine. Securities and banking transaction fraud of 1992, this JPC was constituted. So this is, guys, all about it. Okay. And with this, we come to an end to the today's session. I hope, guys, that you have understood it. And with this, we come to an end to this particular session.